Hello and welcome to Money Control. This is Dustin Yard and you're watching Crick It with Ayaz. We have with us one of the country's top cricket journalists joining us once again on the show, Ayaz Memon. Hi and welcome back to the show, Ayaz.
Thanks, Dustin.
Well, Ayaz, before we move on to anything else, that third Ashes test and Ben Stokes' incredible performance is something none of us are going to forget anytime soon.
Oh, absolutely. Dustin, I think it's not just a career-defining, innings for him. It may also define the fate of the series.
Yeah.
But it's also infused life into the 5-day format.
Yes.
The World Championship has just started. There were, apprehensions as to how it would play out. We've had some fantastic results. New Zealand beating Sri Lanka in the second match after losing the first. India winning the first one easily. That means more results are coming. How far it can take Test cricket remains to be seen. But certainly, if youngsters are excited and interested in the sport, and this is something which will excite everybody, I think it's great.
And I wanted to ask you, where does it rank among the top individual test performances that you have seen so far?
Yeah, so there's a lot of debate whether this is the best ever test innings. Then is it the best ever fourth innings performance? There's been obviously Kusal Perera this year itself, where he made 150, Brian Lara 150, 73 by VVS Lakshman. Then if you include other matches, Ian Botham 149 at Headingley, but in the third innings, after they were following on, VVS Lakshman 281. It's difficult to say whether this is the best, but certainly it's amongst the most extraordinary. And it reminds me of, the way it's panned out, especially for Ben Stokes, after going through the controversy over doping, depression, etc. He says, I can't promise you anything historic, but nothing is impossible. So, it shows you the level at which these kind of performers, sportspersons operate. The optimism that they have, the courage, the fortitude, the never say die spirit. Ben Stokes hit for 4 sixes in the World Cup T20 final. They lose the match. He gets into a problem outside a pub.
That brawl,
Brawl, almost finishes his career. He comes back, and this is, redemption. You can't think of a more brilliant redemption than this.
It's a brilliant story.
It's a brilliant story.
Well, as India completed a comfortable victory in their test match and 60 points sealed to kickstart their World Test Championship campaign, what are the major positives do you think we can take from this victory?
Well, certainly it's the growth of the bowling, prowess. Match after match, they've been performing brilliantly. Bumrah just blew away the top order of the West Indies. The West Indies is not the best team in the world in 5-day cricket, certainly. But for Bumrah to bowl that spell, they are not as bad as it might appear. It was just Bumrah was too good. In the first innings, it was Ishant Sharma. And then the support provided by Mohammad Shami in both innings. So I think that India's bowling obviously is the big gain. The other big gain, and perhaps significant going ahead beyond the West Indies also, is Ajinkya Rahane's form. 81 in the first innings, which I thought was a better knock than the century in the second innings, because in the first innings India was struggling. For him to get that many runs, it's solved his own problem, his own dilemma, am I wanted, am I not wanted. It's also added heft to the Indian batting lineup. So, these are the two significant gains. I also thought Ravindra Jadeja
did very well.
Getting better and better at the test level, having come back, and therefore he's keeping out Ravichandran Ashwin longer and longer.
He has just sealed that all-rounder spot there. Well, speaking about Rishabh Pant itself, Syed Kirmani recently lent his voice backing, Wriddhiman Saha over Pant for the second test. Do you think it's time India made this change though?
Wriddhiman Saha is the better wicketkeeper. There's no doubt about it. I think that it's, for instance, Rishabh Pant in this match, in the first match, didn't make too many mistakes. He may not be the cleanest wicketkeeper still. He's learning, he's work in progress, but he didn't drop 3 catches which lost you the match or something like that. So I think one has to be a little, patient with him. And Wriddhiman Saha, as MSK Prasad, the chief selector, said, he's become the backup wicketkeeper to Rishabh Pant. Unfortunately, that's how the story is panned out. He's about 12, 13 years older than Rishabh Pant, and I think he's an important cog to have in the squad. But I would give Rishabh Pant another match.
Well, as another spot of bother, if we could call it that, has been India's revolving door policy when it comes to the openers in that search for that perfect combination. Now, Kohli did say that he'll give Rahul and Agarwal all 4 innings of the Windies test. What do you make of this opening combination, and do you think it can seal itself like the Rohit Dhawan ODI partnership?
Yeah, so I mean, both have a challenge. You know, I mean, Rahul made a lot of runs in the World Cup, or at least batted very impressively. But he needs to consolidate his place in the Test team. Agarwal got off to a good start in the match that he played in Australia, but he again needs to kind of firm his place up. Now, I thought both of them missed out on an opportunity because West Indies is not the best team, though they've got a fairly decent bowling attack. You know, so this is an opportunity. You make 100, 150, it's difficult for somebody to even question your presence. But if you make 20, 30 and you get dismissed, then there will be questions raised about why not X, Y or Z. Certainly, there is, you know, a demand in several quarters and not unjustified that Rohit Sharma should be tried as an opener. You know, because he's in great form, he's got the experience, he's been around for 10, 11 years in ODI cricket, in Test cricket for 6 years, why not him? You know, that might be the person you're looking at. Even Shikhar Dhawan, you can't write him off completely. And a right-left combination. So Rahul and Agarwal have both got some work ahead of them.
Jasprit Bumrah would have sent ripples through the Test team with that bowling figures: 8 overs, 4 maidens, 7 runs and 5 wickets. And on the other hand, Ishant Sharma, Mohammad Shami and Jadeja too were very impressive. Would you say this is one of India's strongest bowling attacks in recent times in Test cricket?
Certainly in the pace bowling department, I think over the last year and a half, 2 years, if you look at the number of wickets taken, say Bumrah, he's approaching 60 wickets in Test cricket within a year, just a little over a year. Mohammad Shami has picked up
very well,
55, 60 wickets himself. Ishant Sharma in the last year and a half, just when everybody thought that he's been around for so long and he's not as productive as you expect him to be, in the last 2 years his wicket taking has improved a lot. So, and he's not like over the hill, he's still about maybe 30, 31. So these are guys who can serve you, Bumrah for maybe 8, 9 years, 10 years, Shami in another 6, 7 years at least, so too Ishant maybe 3, 4 years. And look at the backup you've got. Umesh Yadav not getting a place in the team, he's 100, you know, he's got almost 100 wickets or 100 wickets plus. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, there's Saini in the wings, there's Mohammad Siraj, there's Khalil Ahmed, very promising youngsters. So I think for me, one of the stories of international cricket in this millennium, since the turn of the century, has been the rise of India's fast bowlers. They're coming from every nook and corner of this country, and high quality and high speed, both of which we never had, you know, in such numbers.
Well, as lastly, Windies have made one change to their lineup with Kemo Paul replacing Miguel Cummins, who seemed to be struggling in that test. What do you think the Windies need to do now to try and get back into this series and at least fight for a draw?
I think it's a matter of application. I think it's a matter of application and ambition, and especially true in the batting. I mean, you know, when you lose like 7 wickets for 32, 33 runs, you know, it shows a little, not a little, it shows a lot of fragility in the batting. You know, and then you've got the tailenders who come and take that score to 100. So there is obviously a lot of introspection which the West Indies have to do, especially the batsmen. I mean, Hetmeyer, Hope, you know, even Jason Holder, these guys are pretty, you know, decent batsmen. They've got skills, they've got ability, but they just can't seem to get their act together. Now the act together, what does it mean? It's not just about technique, it's also about mental toughness.
Do you see them turning things around in this coming test?
It could. I think the talent is not bad. Now they've got Brian Lara and Sarwan working with the batsmen. I would imagine more with the batsmen than with the bowlers. But I think each individual, perhaps Jason Holder needs to have a frank chat with them, and you know, you can't have such a sharp fall. I mean, I know West Indies cricket has been struggling, but you don't even have a batsman of the capability of a Gale, Sarwan or Chandapal. Forget Lara, Viv Richards and Gordon Greenidge. You know, and that's something that should really worry the West Indies, you know, administration. Maybe there's a big flaw in the way their domestic cricket is, you know, conducted. But ultimately the loss is for international cricket, because without Caribbean flavor, international cricket is poorer.
Well, thanks for sharing your views with us, Ayaz. Let's hope for a more competitive second test.
Yes.
Well, that brings us to the end of this segment of Crick It with Ayaz. For more news, views and other updates, stay tuned to Money Control.